Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe von Cockpit Talk. Wie können sich Autohändler in unsicheren und dynamischen Zeiten absichern? Welche Lösungen helfen, sich nachhaltig erfolgreich aufzustellen? Und welche Rolle spielen dabei unabhängige Autobanken wie beispielsweise Creditplus? Amir Djourabtchi ist CEO der Creditplus und gibt uns heute wertvolle Einblicke. Und er erklärt, wie Autohändler von flexiblen Finanzierungslösungen profitieren können und von strategischen Ansätzen. Wir machen das Interview heute auf Englisch. Amir, welcome on board. Thank you for joining us on Automobilwoche's Cockpit Talk. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your invitation and thank you for this interview.
Before we dive into the details, before we take a deep dive into the topic, Amir, your extensive experience in both the automotive industry and the financing sector has provided you with a unique perspective. Given your background, how do you see the role of financing evolving in today's, let's say, rather challenging automotive landscape?
In fact, automotive landscape is very challenging in this period. But I would say now, and in particular in this period, financing is something very important and even necessary for the customers, for the ones who would like to buy a car. But more and more, these customers, these people are expecting, let's say, more than just financing. Because what they are looking for is to have seamless usage and having easy way to use and to buy their cars. What does it mean? They are looking in one side for simple and fast processes for their acquisition, and in the same time having all the different services and possibilities in order to facilitate the usage of the cars, like, for example, extended warranty, maintenance, and different kind of insurance to help the customer and to facilitate the usage of the car.
This leads to my next question. You almost answered it already. In the current discussion in the industry, financing in car retail is rarely at the top of the agenda. Given the current challenges, is financing becoming less important because it's not on top of the agenda, or is it playing an even more crucial role? You just answered that.
In fact, it's very important because now financing is totally integrated in the value chain of the automotive distribution. Because maybe in the past it was industry and sell the car, but now there is no car or almost no car sold without adapted possibility for the financing. Could be renting for any kind of product, but it's totally integrated financing and the car selling process.
Mm-hmm. One aspect that worries many car dealers is the switch to the agency model, to the agency sales planned by some car manufacturers. How will this affect the business of financing institutions specialized in car dealerships like Creditplus? Will you lose contact with dealers tied to the agency model?
I would say somehow the contrary, because in fact this evolution could have or will have some impact in terms of relation between dealers and car makers. But if I put aside, let's say, the economic impact for the dealers, the most important point for the dealers is to keep contact and being in touch with their customers. And precisely all the financing products offered, proposed by Creditplus or company like Creditplus can really contribute and help the dealers to remain in contact with the customer and not lose this very valuable, let's say, added value for them.
Mm-hmm. That's a very interesting point. And how can Creditplus help car dealers become less dependent on manufacturers through customized financing solutions?
Honestly, we don't want to play, or we are not there to play dealers against car makers, because they must work together and to be successful together. What we do, our objective is to provide to each of them the right product, services, everything in order to help them and reinforce, let's say, the collaboration. Maybe in different way, but having them, because car maker cannot, like, let's say, continue without dealers and vice versa. So it's not to play against each other, but to do in a way to even reinforce the collaboration, win-win partnership between them.
In the car trade, there are various financial service providers. These include the captives or the OEMs, the clients' banks, the banks of the car buyers, and financing institutions, of course, like specialized in car dealerships like Creditplus. What advantages and benefits do you offer car dealers compared to the manufacturers' finance companies and the clients' banks?
I think if we split between, let's say, more traditional banks and the entities like Creditplus who are specialized in car finance. As I said previously, the customer is looking to everything in order to facilitate the usage of the car. But for that, in order to provide him the right product, it means you need to know how is and what is exactly the usage of the car, what is the process, which kind of product and services the customer needs. And to do that, specialized entities like Creditplus, but of course also the, let's say, car makers, financial company, are better placed compared to the traditional banks to offer, to complete their offer to the customer, while traditional bank is, let's say, just offering financing, which is necessary but not enough anymore.
We had years of high inflation and high interest rates. Now loans are becoming cheaper. What does that mean? How does this change the business of car dealerships?
I think the normal answer has to say yes, lower interest rate has to help. It's the case, it will help. But as we said, it helps, but once again, it won't be enough. And the customer, we have to see what to do, what kind of product, what kind of services to offer him, her, in order to facilitate the usage of the car. So lower interest rate helps for cheaper, let's say like that, the financing. But in order to be really efficient, we have to have a kind of 360 view of the customer needs and not just only part of his needs.
Creditplus is known in the automotive industry for helping dealers finance car sales and purchases. Have you also developed solutions for OEMs or car suppliers?
In fact, we work in the full value chain of automotive distribution. In top of our collaboration partnership with the dealers, we are also working and proposing product and services to the OEMs. Because what is important is to be able to propose to all the stakeholders on this value chain, car makers, importers, dealers, the right product and services in order to help them to precisely be successful, but all together and not separately, because otherwise won't be sustainable success.
Now some very good news. Creditplus was named the best independent financing institution specialized in car dealerships for the third time in a row in a ranking of independent car banks. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Nearly 700 brand-affiliated dealers were surveyed who would usually use their OEM's finance company. What do these dealers value about working with an independent financing institution specialized in car dealerships?
Actually, for some dealers, we are, let's say, independent car bank company, but for some others, captive, because we have also partnership with some OEMs. This is precisely our strengths, meaning knowing the total value chain and what is needed by everyone, either dealer, either car maker, in order to propose them the right product, the right services, but also the right processes. Because mainly for the dealers, the process and simple process is a very important point to facilitate and have fast answer and not, let's say, long process. Precisely as you mentioned, and we are very proud of that having ranked 3 times in a row that as number 1, I would say is the fact that it confirms that we are appreciated and is not per coincidence and confirms the, let's say, our capabilities.
Amir, let's talk about ESG criteria, which focus on environmental, social, and governance factors. Those are becoming more and more important in retail. Can Creditplus help car dealerships in this area?
Yes, of course. This is, as you said, these ESG topics are and will be there more and more everywhere, not only for car industry, not only for the dealers. On top of that, the electric cars are becoming, okay, with some up and down, but they are having higher weight in the market. The point is the dealers have to be credible because they are moving or they will move step by step from the, let's say, ICE car standard, let's say, gasoline to the electric car. But they have to be credible. They have to show to the customers that they are not only selling different kinds of cars. They are not just selling electric cars. They are in line with, let's say, all the ESG criteria. They know what are the different services they have to provide in order to facilitate the usage of electric cars. And for that, Creditplus is working. I have to say we are in the preparation phase to help the dealers for that. How? In one side, to help them even to assess their, let's say, their how they are in terms of ESG, how they are, let's say, in line with the ESG criteria, and which kind of product and services they have to provide to the customers for that. Meaning, for example, some financing either for the dealer himself, either for the final customer for energy transition infrastructure. And this is really the once again, our objective is to show that we are present in whole value chain of the automotive industry and distribution to provide all the product and services, mainly when the environment and this value chain is changing because the products are changing, the expectations are changing, and we have to be there all the time and not to remain only what we used to do in the past, but the future is always different, and this our capability to even anticipate maybe this future.
Mm-hmm. That's a perfect conclusion. Thank you so much, Amir, for your valuable insights. It was a pleasure talking with you, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Das war's von uns heute, aber bald gibt's schon mehr Cockpit Talks, also immer wieder mal vorbeisurfen auf automobilwoche.de. Bis dann, wir freuen uns auf euch, ich freue mich auf euch, macht's gut und tschüss.